Are you ready to take your life to the next level? More money, more peace and ease, a vibrant body, a loving and passionate relationship? Well, I'm glad you're here. My name is Natalie Leffler, and welcome to Dream Builder, my page to help you create a life you love. I've been a licensed mental health worker, behavioral expert, and transformation coach for over 12 years. I take the best of behavioral science, neuroscience, quantum science, and alchemy, and put it together to help you reduce stress, struggle, and pain, and create a life of ease, joy, and love. In this video that you're going to watch, it's one of my bi-weekly live coaching sessions. And this particular video is all about focus and perception. Did you know that what you focus on, you get in your experience? I'm going to teach you all about a very important mechanism in our brain and how that creates your life experience. So it's so important to be deliberate about what you're thinking about. In this video, at the end of it, I'm going to do a super conscious recode where I'm going to teach you how to let go, to change your focus, and to create anything that you want. It's an amazing process, so please watch the whole thing, take notes, and let me know afterwards how you feel at the end. Make sure to subscribe to my channel so that you can get all of my free coaching. And if you want to know more about how to transform your life, please read below and follow the link. I have a coaching program that is amazing. So thanks for watching this video, and I hope you enjoy. Yeah, today we're talking about possibility mode and opportunities, and this is really about the power of focus and why it's so important to focus on the end result, on what you want, and why that's so much more powerful, and then focusing on the problem itself. Why is it such a big difference? It basically, we know that we get what we focus on, right? So if we're focusing on the problem, we're just gonna get more of the problem. And if we focus on the end result, then we move towards that, the opportunities, the people, the steps, everything that aligns with it comes to you, and then you can take those steps to go towards it. But it won't happen unless you really align with it, which means you need to focus, which means you need to make your unconscious so familiar with that end result that it's like, yes, this is where we're going. This is safe. This is the path of least resistance. So we're really talking about consistency and truly mastering, just mastering this ability to consciously shift your focus, always shifting to perspective that aligns more with your end result. We're talking about being very consistent with our focus and just truly mastering it. And every situation, just being really deliberate. Okay, what's happening right now? Assess. How do you feel? Assess. Do I want to keep feeling this way? Assess. And if you're cool with it, you're cool with it. If you're not, then how can you change your perspective? How can you think about something different? How can you shift your focus so that it goes towards something that feels a little bit better, it's a little more positive, that's more towards what you want, your end result. So it's just constantly choosing that focus. Because really, we're conditioned from when we're younger. Our experiences, our parents, we have these old habits. And so we kind of have to fight them now. And we have to go, all right, is this an old habit? Do I want to keep feeling this way, or do I want to shift into something new? So it's just consistency. And this is truly the biggest difference between somebody who's trying to problem solve and just continues to just have problems and issues or fighting their whole life, versus a true deliberate creator who is focusing only on what they want, whatever it is, whether it's an emotion, a state of being, or something physical, house, money, relationship, whatever it is, it literally does not matter. The only thing that matters is your focus. So to be a true, deliberate, conscious creator that I want you to be, two main things need to happen. The main important things. One, you need to decide what you want, and you need to focus on it so that you align with it. You need to truly step into it and feel it often, and just have that guide you. And the second part is that you need to be okay with where you're at now. You can't have now be awful and rant and rave about how awful it is all the time and then expect to go to that other space. Because that means you're giving your attention to the awfulness of now. Does that make sense? We have to come to terms with where we are at. It might not be where you want to be today. It might not be something you want to live in forever, but it is where you're at. It is. And the only way to ever leave it is to be okay with it. So you gotta make it happen. We're gonna keep working on how to do that. But one thing I just want you to think about today is, what if this is actually exactly where you are meant to be? What if everything that's happened in your life has led you up to here, which, well, it has, because you're here. So maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it was supposed to be that way. Maybe right here is the part of the creation that's the step before the creation that you want. You know? How do we know? We don't know. Maybe that's exactly the way that it was meant to be. Every step along the way, whatever you've judged as good or bad has led you here. And I don't think that that's a bad thing. I really don't. Because now you are learning how to truly be a creator and step into a whole new life. I mean, really, this is a turning point. It could be a massive turning point for you. So maybe you could have appreciation then for everything that has led you to here. Because every step along the way, you're always creating, right? Life is not like you just reach an end point and then you're done. You don't just create something and then go, well, I guess I'm done creating. You are always creating. You've created everything. You've created the job you have now. You've created the relationship you have now. You've created whatever income you have now. You've created the health you have now. You've created being here. You created the situation that brought you here. And that's awesome, because that means this creation is it's like the pre-creation to the next creation. So this creation has to happen before the next one. So this has to happen before you finally feel the way you want to feel. You finally have what you want, that relationship, money, feeling peace, anxiety, and relaxed and abundant. This is the creation needed for that. So that's a good thing, right? You're exactly where you're meant to be. So that's where we're talking about. So it's a perspective. Obviously, that was my perspective, and you have your own perspective. But I want you to think about that. And I'm going to show you a worksheet that just kind of goes over how it's a choice, you know? It's our perspective. We create our reality. We create it by what we choose to perceive, what we choose to focus on. Because what we choose to focus on, what we perceive, dictates our feelings and thoughts. Those dictate our decisions and what we do in our life. So it's all up to us, what we're perceiving, what we're focusing on. We control it all. It's really, really important to get a handle on it, because it's all you. And it's awesome, because then you can start going, well, I want to make this something that I love, so I'm going to start focusing on that. And that's the beauty of it.
but it's all in your hands, because so what you focus on is really important. That's why we're talking about perception. So you always need to start thinking about how you're perceiving something, because it matters, because how you perceive something will dictate what you're focusing on. So if you're perceiving something as bad, you're just conjuring up that bad energy, then it's gonna keep that alive. But if you change the focus, maybe it was a good opportunity, then it's a total shift in your energy, and you can, that it'll help you move towards what you want. So I just want to share my screen with you for a second. Which here we are. Hopefully you can see this. Okay. I'm going to, give me 1 second, make this smaller. Oh deal, I made it bigger. I'm recording my screen, so it's just not really fitting the recorded part of the screen, but, well, I think I have to make this a lot smaller. 1 second. Okay, so here we go. It's like way big. Okay, hopefully you can see. I don't know, I can't see you guys anymore. Hopefully you can see this. So what I want to just kind of have you grasp is that sometimes we think that we're going and life takes, this is kind of how life is, just up and down, these mountain peaks. Sometimes we think we're going towards something and something happens, stress, accidents, traumas, whatever things happen. I mean, we just really can't stop. This is the human journey, is life has these things happen. We can't evade all stress, but it's our job to work on how we perceive it. And sometimes we could just be feel like in a really crappy place. But does that necessarily mean we're not still on our path? No. We could say, well, maybe this is a part of the path. Just like going up and down a mountain. Sometimes you got to go down before you come back up. So again, it's all about our perception. So your reality is created by your perception. And it's just going over some of these issues, how we can just see them differently. Ending a relationship, right? We could think that's painful, that's a loss, that's lonely, rejection, not worthy. We could just stew about it and just be all upset. Or we could think, all right, well, yes, those feelings may happen, and it's completely understandable and valid to feel them, but you could eventually shift into a new perspective. You could eventually shift into, well, I have, newfound freedom, and new change is good, and now I can work on myself, and now I have opportunities for new experiences. Who knows what's going to happen, who I can meet. So it's just, seeing that as a different perspective. Same with losing a job. You could feel like very stressed out about it, or embarrassed, or not good enough, or lost, or any number of things. Or you could feel, hey, it's an opportunity to do something new, opportunity to create that business I've always wanted to create, opportunity for more freedom and more family time. Totally different perspective. But the same thing happened, you just get to choose. It seems like super obvious when you read it like this, but people still don't do it. You still just kind of sit in the negativity all the time. So health issues, the same, like, I'm not where I want to be. I need to do this. I need to do that. I'm frustrated, worried, and you just think, or you have this health issue, like you're Western medicine wants you to think you're just broken and you have something wrong with you for the rest of your life, which is just not true at all. Or you could think, hey, this is an opportunity for me to seriously work on myself. My body is trying to get me to wake up and do something different. Exercise different, eat different, take care of my mental health, let go of that old baggage, whatever it is. It's giving you an opportunity to do that. It's just banging you in the head going, hey, this is important. And like I said earlier, whatever brought you here, whatever you experienced in your past, it's hard to think of them as good things if they were painful. And you don't necessarily have to think of them as good things, but you can just think of them as just experiences, just steps along the way. That's how your superconscious thinks of it. We're the ones that put value on the things. We say it's good or it's bad. But what if just nothing was good or bad? It just was. It was just something that you experienced, and now you're experiencing other things. Now you're here. Now you're learning new tools. Now you're learning who you are. Now you're learning how to let things go. Now you're learning how to feel abundance and appreciation. Always. Those are all good things. So whatever happened, it just happened. It's in the past, and there's nothing you can do about it. No point in really thinking about it anymore. It's just this like, cool, thanks. That was an experience that I don't particularly want to feel again, but it's cool. I did it. I survived. Here I am today, ready to move forward. So our perspective is so important. We are always, always, always shifting our perspective. And it's just constant. It's a constant thing we got to keep doing. I have, like I said on Tuesday, I have a little card. I'm into having little cards that have little sayings on it. It's kind of like little affirmations, but it's more like reminders to me. And I have one that says laugh it away, and it's just on my dresser, just sits there because it reminds me that laughing, to me, I mean, you guys already know me, I'm kind of a giggle bunny, but laughing is very important to me. And so when I suddenly shift into like, something didn't work out, something didn't go the way I expected, or whatever might happen where I'm feeling some kind of negative emotion, I just have to look at that card and just go, you know what? Guess it wasn't meant to be. Oh well, and just trying to find a way to laugh it away. It truly, truly helps me. I like it. But what works for you is, whatever kind of feels good. So come up with something that helps you shift that emotion into what you want it to be. For me, that's just a shift. That's like, I truly believe that everything is always working out for me. So maybe it wasn't what I expected, but it doesn't matter because I will still stay focused on my end result and know that maybe this is a downhill or whatever it is, it's fine because I'm still moving in that direction. So perception is everything. We have this amazing tool up here, this brain that can filter, that can analyze, that can do all these cool things, store things, file things, assimilate things. It's amazing what it can do, all this information that comes in. But a lot of the time, you're kind of running on an old program because some old influences like parents or society, school, teachers' experiences, it's like all shaped that filtering system. And so you might be seeing something in a certain way, right? We all have our, I call them biases. But sometimes we don't want to keep those biases anymore, right? We want to have a new, fresh outlook because we don't want to be ruled by the past. We want to have something new, right? We want to feel abundant appreciation. So sometimes we have to kind of check ourselves like, I'm shocked. My filter is chalking this up into a negative situation. We have to be like, nope, I'm going to scratch that. I'm going to reanalyze this and find that new perspective. I'm going to find the new way of looking at this that feels better in the moment. You don't have to, it's not about denial. It's not about burying your head in the sand or putting the white flag up. It's just I'm going to be deliberate about my thoughts and feelings. I'm going to be deliberate about making how I feel the most important thing. So if I'm feeling bad, I'm choosing that. If I'm feeling stressed, I'm choosing that. If I feel happy, I'm choosing it. If I feel blessed, I'm choosing it. You're always choosing, so you have to remember that. You are always in charge. So if you're not feeling good, you can own it and just be like, whatever, I'm not going to feel good. Fine. That's fine. You can do that sometimes. Or you can also be like, all right, well, this is, obviously I need to do something to shift out of this. How do I shift it? Do I see it differently? Or do I literally just distract myself and focus on something different? You have options, but it has to be something that we are reconditioning ourselves to be able to do. We got to recondition those old habits, those old ways of thinking, feeling, and behaving that we don't necessarily want anymore. So once we do it over and over and over again, that consistency, we're building a new structure, a new way of thinking. And it's a creative structure that we're moving towards what we want. It's not a problem-solving structure. It's not a everything's personal structure. It's I want to feel good. I want to feel abundant, success, security, love, passion, adventure. I want that, so I'm going to focus on that. That's the structure I want to live by. I'm just going to move towards that. So it's the deliberate refocusing. Hopefully this is making sense to you. I'm just saying the same thing over and over again. How important our focus is. How truly, truly, truly important it is. I mean, it's just the game changer. It is the most important thing. And we're just waking up. Our bodies, our minds can be very automatic. You know this. You know how automatic things can just be going through. And so now you're just being awakened to every moment, every new situation you're in, whatever's happening, to be very aware of where you're at. Aware, how is this feeling right now? What's happening? What, and just being like, do I want to keep feeling this way? How do I want to feel instead? You already talk to yourself all the time. Now you're going to keep talking to yourself in a new way, questioning yourself. Be in control. Your thoughts and your emotions are not in control. You are. So you're going to be in charge from now on. Have an arsenal, have your list of things if you need to refocus. What are your things that really help you? Listening, sometimes for me, it's listening, singing and dancing. Really good ones that I can just do. Just put on some music, just totally distract myself. That just really gets me out of my head and more into my spirit. So what is it for you? Reading, listening to music, going outside in the garden, what can just completely distract you if that's what you need to do. So I want to just go through a little activity because I want you to see how powerful it is to really focus and how focusing can just open up opportunities for you when you're really staying focused. So just a little practical, some practical work. So what I want you to do is think of a problem. Think of a problem that you are experiencing right now that you want to work on, that you want to move away from. Okay? Something that, I don't say, it's okay to acknowledge problems. I don't want you to think that I'm like, never think about your problem, always think about the future. Okay, we have to be aware of what's going on in our life, right? If we don't know where we're at, and how do we know we've made any changes? We have to acknowledge where we're at, and then we want to know where we are. The understanding those points in space and time between where we're at and the future is a very important part of being a creator. So where are you at right now? What's happening? Do you have a problem? Do you have an issue with work? Do you have an issue with a person? A situation that you're like, I don't know what to do. I want you to think of something. At this point in time, grab a piece of paper, a pen, or a pencil, because I'm going to have you write, and then we're going to do some writing for the Recode too. So, give you a few more seconds to think about what you want to work on for this session. Okay. Okay. Now, I want you to close your eyes and just feel it. Just feel what it feels like. Step into it. You might not like it, but just feel that for a second. How are you perceiving this particular situation? Okay, so since I asked it's a problem, you're perceiving it as a problem. Why is it a problem? What is your perception of this? Think about that for a second. We're just creating awareness of the problem. That's a good thing, you know. You gotta know where you're at. Okay, so once you kind of have felt that, and just understand those feelings are just feelings. There's no bad feelings, there's no bad emotions. They're all just messages, just telling us, hey, this isn't really my thing. Don't want this anymore. Okay, that's all it is. They come and they go just like thoughts. I'm gonna ask you just a simple question. What do you choose? What do you choose? Just write that down. What do you choose? And I'm not asking, what are you choosing instead? I'm not asking, what are you trying to fix? I'm not asking what you don't want. I'm just asking, what do you choose? What would you like? What would you love? Perhaps it's something in your inner reality, like a feeling. Maybe it's something in your outer reality, like a outcome. Just write it out. Playful out. Oh, yes. Got that. Answering the chat. Okay. So it's interesting, right? Even though we have this problem, we still know what we want. We still in our heart know what we want instead. So why are we choosing to focus on the problem so much instead of just focusing on what we want that's in our heart? Resistance. That's why we're going to recode some resistance. But in any case, I want you to now step into that feeling of what you want. What do you choose? Close your eyes again and step into that. What does it feel like to have that? What you choose. Step into it with your heart and your soul. Feel it. Step into it. Feels good. Something you want, something you love, right? Just let it really, really just resonate in your heart and soul. And when we align our heart and soul and with what we want, that's when we get clarity. So I'm going to just have this process of activating your intuition. And just let whatever comes when I ask this question. Because when you really, truly step into it, when you align with that end result, what you really want, the steps to it will come. So as you really, truly feel it, you're stepping into it, you have that job, you have that relationship, you have that house, you have that feeling of peace. Ask yourself right now, just let your intuition show you, what are the possibilities available to help move you towards this choice? What is the next obvious step that you can take to move towards this choice? What could you do almost immediately? Today, tomorrow, very soon. What is the next step you could take to move towards this choice? Just let your intuition tell you. The answer is right there. It's always right there. It's there. You just aren't allowing yourself to see it because you're not focusing on that end result enough. But when you do, it's easy. The next step is right there. It might be a little step. It could be a little baby step. Could be a big step. It could even just be a new way of looking at something, a new perception that gives you sense of peace. It really could be anything. And it's obvious. It's not probably that hard. Walk a little bit more, stretch a little bit more, do some research, call that friend that knows that information, have a talk with somebody, go online, get your business license. It could be anything. It's just then a step. And with each little step you take, you move towards your goal, right? So it's all about aligning with what we want and then taking the next little step. And you align and then you take the next step. It's easy. You just do it. So that's all you have to do when you're feeling stuck, really ever. You're feeling stuck, close your eyes, align with that end result. Think about it. What do I gotta do next? The answer will come to you. It will come. The more you do it, the more you align, the more you resonate, you become that end result, the steps will unfold. That's the possibility mode. So many possibilities right there for you. When you are able to just focus on your end results, what you want more than anything else, right? I'm always saying you're tilting that scale towards your focus, towards what you want, and watering that instead, right? Just like water will water anything. It'll water the weeds, it will water the flowers. It doesn't matter. So you have to decide what you're watering. What do you want? And decide how you're going to do it. Maybe you journal, maybe you meditate, maybe you daydream. But the more you focus, the more you think about it, the more whatever happens, you just go, nope, okay, this happened, but whatever, I'm not going to focus on it. I'm just going to focus on the end result. The more it grows, like planting the seeds. Take some time, but they will come. They will come. It will grow. So it's a really cool way to just shift. Okay, we're always in control of what we're focusing on. Always. Sometimes it doesn't feel that way. Sometimes I know. I was just recently just had something happen and I was like thinking a lot about it and I went, what would I say to one of my clients about this? Yes, I'm a normal human and things happen to me too. So but then I went, you know what? I gotta focus on something else. And literally that's what I did. I went and turned on music and I was like, I'm just gonna forget about it for a second. Boom, shifted right out of it. It's easy to do when you make it a priority. Like, I'm not gonna worry about this right this second. I'll worry about it another time. And just shift. So what I want to do is the Recode now. Make sure we have enough time for that. Good old Recode. You're awesome. Okay, so you could work on the same problem or you can work on something different. But I want to actually tell you real quick. Oh, I forgot to. If you aren't unfamiliar with the 5 steps of being a deliberate creator, they're in one of the lessons, and I repeat them every now and then, but just want you to remember what the 5 steps are of being a deliberate creator. Why I do this process, the Recode, and why I do it this way, because all these steps are really needed. So the first step is 1, you have to choose what you want, that end result. What do you want? We need to know where we're going, otherwise we'll just be lost. So what do you want? And really step into it. Just feel it. That's the first step. The second step is to create what I call structural tension, which is understanding where you're at now. So acknowledging where you're at now. Oh. Did you hear that? Bullet just snored. That was funny. He's like dreaming or something. Bullet. Oh, it's my dog, if you don't know, Bullet. So create structural tension. So that's acknowledging where we're at now. I'm in a, like example, I'm in a small house and I don't love it. I really want a new big house. So where am I at now? The small house, I'm not that excited about. I want this big house. So then we know, okay, this is what I want. This is where I'm at now. Now what's in the way of doing that? So step 3 is, actually that's step 4. So step 3 then, so once we know where we're at, is actually going back in and feeling it, feeling the end result so deeply from your heart that you're just projecting it into your field so that we can recode it. So really understanding where you're at, what you want, where you're at now, then feeling it, stepping into it. And then the next step would be the recode, unplugging all the resistance between those 2 points, pulling it up into your field, get all the beliefs, emotions, the past stuff that's just getting in the way of being like, okay, this is what I need to do to move into it, and just unplug it, just let it go. And then the 5th and final step would be then to take the inspired action steps to move towards it, right? You have no more resistance, which means you have nothing stopping you, right? Then you're like, okay, well now I can talk to a lender, and now I can start looking online, and now I can start packing up my stuff and going through everything, whatever the little steps are to moving, if that's your choice. So it's about knowing where you're at, knowing where you want to be, unplugging what's in the way, getting rid of that resistance, and then taking the necessary steps towards what you want. So just wanted to recap that real quick. Okay, so think about what you want to work on today. What is your choice? Could be one of the main choices that I say a lot, which is being the predominant creator of your experience, true health and vitality, choosing a life you love, and living your true nature and purpose. Of course, there's other ones. Some people want, I also have, abundance of opportunity and resources. I have, a very loving, happy, healthy family life. There's, of course, you can have lots of other ones. But remember, when you're thinking about this, you're not problem solving, okay? You're not like, I need to fix my back pain. Don't say that. Then you're problem solving. You need to think, what do you want? What's on the other end of that? You just want to feel good, right? You just want to feel good. You want, I don't want a stressful work environment. Well, that's problem solving. What do you want instead? I want a job that feels easy and fun, challenging, but, I'm capable and it's exciting and things like that. So once you have that, and I want you to write down where you're at now in comparison. So if you don't have all that, where are you at? What do you have now? Let's give you a minute to write it down. Just where are you at? Maybe you don't have that feeling that you're looking for yet. Maybe you don't have that thing, that job, that just way of being, person, the security of abundance. If you're not there, where are you at now? So let's make this points in time. Where you want to be, where you're at now. So we create the structural tension. Remember, we're always moving towards something. So we could either be moving up. We want to be just moving up towards our goal, right? Nope. But what happens is if you don't align with your goal, you have that resistance that pulls you back. That's what we're trying to get rid of. Otherwise, you just oscillate back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. When you align with that goal, the tension will just bring you right towards it when you have no resistance. But it takes that focus. Focus on that end result. All right, so now when you have where you're at, I want you to write down the answer to this question. I would love to have, fill in with your choice, but, dot, dot, dot. I would love to have $1 million, but, dot, dot, dot. I don't think I can make that much money ever. I, you know, I can't do it. I'm not capable. I don't know how. Whatever it is. What is all that little self-talk going in there? It's like, no, this isn't the way. It's too hard. It's gonna take too long. I don't know how to do it. Write it all out. I want you to realize that you've created where you're at now. You've created it. And you've created the resistance to it. Resistance is just something that you created in the past that served a purpose at one time, and now it does not. And that's okay. It was a good thing at one point in time. Maybe when you were a baby, maybe you were under 4, maybe when you were 20s. But it's just not helping you now, and that's okay. But you did create it for a purpose. But we're going to just tell your unconscious, you don't need it anymore. So, but it is quite possible that you're keeping it alive by your thoughts, feelings, and emotions. So what stories are you telling about why this hasn't happened yet? What are your kind of excuses? Let's say maybe you're trying to meet somebody new relationship. What's the stories that you keep saying? Why hasn't it happened yet? What do you think? Either you have a bunch of thoughts and beliefs about yourself about it, so write those down. I'm too this, I'm too that. Or perhaps you have thoughts about the choice, right? Anything about the choice. Oh, there's no good men out there, or all the women I've dated, we have nothing in common, or it's too hard to meet people online, or what is the stories that you keep saying? What are these beliefs that are resistance that's going, I don't think I can have what I want, so I'm going to make up some stuff to act like there's some other reason it's not happening besides me just going for it. And like I said, none of them are bad. It's not bad thoughts, feelings, behaviors. It's not bad. But if it's stopping you, then it's resistance and you don't want it anymore. Don't you want to feel the opposite? Like, yeah, there's plenty. Tons of people, tons of opportunities. Because it's the truth. This is the truth. Okay, so what else? Let's unplug anything else we can think of. What other beliefs, what emotions are coming up about this? Frustration, doubt, fear. What are your reservations? Sometimes we have future reservations, like you're so comfortable where you're at now that the future, it's like you don't want things to change because you don't want to rock the boat, you know? Like, what if you had all of a sudden millions of dollars? We'd be like, some people fear that, you know? Like, I don't know what I would do with all money. That's overwhelming. Like, what if I lose all my family and friends? What if I become a horrible person? People think all sorts of things like that. Or what if I, this or that, or, what reservations do you have? What is this kind of future worry that are popping up? Just jot everything that's coming up down. Just unpacking, bringing all of this stuff into your active experience right now. It's going to help us recode it really, really well. The more we unpack and bring it up in our field, and our superconscious can get rid of it. Anything else? What are your judgments or comparisons? Everyone else has it, but I don't. It's so easy for them. It's hard for me. Anything and everything that you can write down. The ifs and the buts and the should'ves and could'ves and would'ves about this choice. Unpacking all this resistance. Okay? Give you one more minute. Write down everything. All right. When you feel ready, just one last thing. Write down between 1 and 10 what you think your resistance is at. Between 1 and 10. 1 being no resistance. You're right there. You're moving right towards it. Easy peasy. 10 being stuck in the mud. There's a boulder hanging off your leg and you're not moving anywhere. And you're like, that's so far away from where I'm at right now. And 5 would obviously be somewhere in the middle, like you're kind of moving towards the things that you want, but still some stuff is popping up and it's in your way. So, pick a number. It only means something to you, so it doesn't matter what it is. You can share it if you want. Circle everything that you just wrote down. If you wrote it with a pen or pencil, circle it. So that's your active experience. If you didn't write it down, you could do it in your mind. Kind of circle everything you just thought about in your mind. And then go ahead and close your eyes. We're going to do a recode. Close your eyes. Just relax for a minute. And just choose to get the most out of this experience. Our intention is so important. It is so strong. So just give me permission in your mind. Please give Natalie Leffler permission to speak to my superconscious. More satisfaction, less pain. And just remember that our superconscious and our unconscious like to work in metaphors. And so that's why I often use a couple different metaphors. One, the soccer field with our resistance popping up like little gopher mounds. And that we're just going to go in and clear away those little gopher mounds. Just sweep away the dirt. So you have a nice playing field, a nice active playing field. Sometimes I use the boulder metaphor. Like there's little boulders in our way and we're clearing them out so that we can just flow effortlessly down that river towards our choice. But super conscious, you understand those metaphors today, right? Yes. So now we can get started. The first thing I want to do is get all of the part identities popping up into this field right now on board with this treatment today. That inner judge, skeptic, protector, a lot of big part personalities today. Not so much the little inner child. Big ones today. I just want to help get them all on board for treatment. Remember, these are aspects of yourself that have been created through your memories and experiences. It's kind of, again, a metaphor for parts of yourself that are hanging on to the past to protect you. They're here to protect you. And I just super conscious, please remind them that we love that about them. We want them to. We are so happy that they have done this job, protection, in the past, was definitely needed at one point in time. But now there's so much more information available. We've learned so much over the years that we don't really need that anymore. But we will keep all of your excellent information and just turn that into wisdom and no longer feel the pain of the past. So super conscious, if you could just do a treatment plan to get all of these aspects, these part identities on board with treatment today in the best way possible, for the best safe way possible, that would be great. Do a massive change history and anything that's needed. Thank you. Oh. And just breathe and kind of notice what you notice. I always kind of feel the field and the information coming in. Sometimes I get really tingly. I start twitching. I can feel things in my body, like my throat. Super conscious, can you do a chakra healing here? Go through, especially the throat chakra is popping up right now. And that's kind of our ability to step into who we are and feel safe with who we are and be who we are in the world. Feel like we can speak up and out and be ourselves in the world. So can you do a massive change history on that so that we feel like, hey, this choice is our right. We have the right to move towards this choice. We can do that. And any other chakras, body systems that need a treatment today, please do that. Recode, thank you. Super conscious, can you look at the family entanglements? So quite a few, some history, some entanglements with mothers here today in this field. Can you do a massive change history on these family entanglements? No longer needed. Break and return any contracts no longer useful and causing resistance to this goal. Thank you. Super conscious. Can we look at all of the beliefs popping up right now? All the beliefs that were just written down on the paper. All the beliefs that weren't brought up, but that exist here in the field. Feeling any, specifically the sabotaging beliefs, recode any of those. Not worthy, not capable, not valued, needing to be perfect, not belonging. No longer need to be working towards resolving those. So super conscious, please do massive change history on those. Recode them away. Thank you. Just keep breathing. My legs are tingling. A lot of energy movement going on. This is awesome. Super conscious, still doing its thing. Waiting for the next command. We're just gonna put all the resistance in a bubble. Super conscious, please look at this active experience. Create kind of a big garbage bag. We're sweeping up the leaves off that field too, clearing any and all debris off this soccer field. So all the leaves, any debris, any extra gopher mounds, sweep it up into this. All the beliefs, all the events, all the emotions, like doubt, fear, feeling lost, feeling unsure. All the emotions, sweep them up. Any confusion. Any and all resistance brought into this active experience. Just sweep it up like those leaves. That's right. That's right. Sweep it up into that bag. throw that bag out. And everyone, I just want you to imagine that soccer field now. Just imagine that beautiful soccer field right in front of you. With all that resistance gone, you can just see the end result. It's right there. It's just right there. It's right across the field. It's not that far away. There's just a number of steps that you have to take to get there. Just a number of steps, and then you're right there. How exciting is that? So exciting. Just feel how excited you are. Woo! You got this whole big field to play on. Nothing stopping you from going there, going there, going there. Boom. Going all the way to the end. Nothing stopping you. You just feel it right now, just that you're doing it. You're just running right towards it. It's so easy. I feel so good to just focus and step into it. Superconscious just see that metaphor, see that feeling towards that goal, reinforce. This is opportunity. We're just in opportunity mode. All sorts of opportunities are before us. Just light them up. Light them up. Thank you. Please ground all the memories we touched today. Thank you. Take a big, deep breath. Come back. How are you feeling? How was that? So much happened. We don't see everything that happens around us, do we? Just like dogs can smell things and hear things we don't smell and hear. Light we don't see. But there is things happening all around us. We have this field around us with all this stuff going on. It's memories and all the instructions for you living your life are right there. And we're coding it. It's amazing. And so you might feel things, you might not, but let me tell you, it's happening. It's happening all around you. And the more that you do it, the more you're going to be really in tuned more with what's happening, and you're going to notice it. It's how it was for me. You just don't, I've always been super, super sensitive to energy work. That's why I've been doing healing works and intuitive work for a long time. But it definitely this was different, and then it just kind of grew and grew and grew. So you'll feel the changes, but the number one thing you're really going to notice is that you start taking different action. Because that's what true resistance is, right? It stops you from doing things. It stops you from going and meeting that person. It stops you from making that phone call. It stops you from deciding, figuring out what you want to do. So that's all it is. And when you don't have resistance anymore, then you can just make those steps. You can just do it. Be like, oh, I'm actually doing this. It's taken me forever to do it, but now I can finally just do it. And just feel better. Just choose to feel better. Choose to not focus on all that old stuff. And just feel better. It's amazing. It is. So just remember, you're in control. You're in control of your perception. You're in control of your focus. Be deliberate. Be consistent. Master it. That is why we are here. To master this game of focus and truly learn that by doing that, we create our experience, and that is the fun part of life. To create, it is so fun once you start realizing. Next week, I'm so excited because I have a cool topic and something that you can try, because I really want you to understand the power of your mind. Because once you understand how your focus literally changes everything, you can intend to do something, to think something, to see something, and when you see it, you're going to be like, whoa, that's crazy. And then you could do it more and more and more and realize, wow, you have all this power. So stay tuned. Come next week. Until then, have a fabulous, fabulous weekend. So glad you were here. And I will catch you next time. Have a great one. Bye.